Are you thinking about buying a new construction home in Northern Virginia? Well, you just happened to stumble across the absolute best video possible, because in this week's video, I'll share with you everything that you must know about buying a new construction home in Northern Virginia. We're gonna look into pricing, we're gonna dive into unexpected fees, we're gonna learn about builder incentives, tips to negotiate with the builder, and so much more. So think of this video as New Construction Homes 101, and trust me, you're not gonna wanna miss it. So sit back, relax, because we're getting started right now. Boom! Hey everybody, it's David, your favorite realtor, and welcome back to another video. So as someone who personally purchased a new construction home in Ashburn back in 2022, this I can absolutely say for certain. There's nothing more exciting in the whole real estate space than building your own home from scratch. So yes, it is very exciting, but at the same time, it's very nerve-wracking as well, as the whole new construction buying process is going to be completely different than purchasing a traditional resale home. So I really want this video to be a great starting point for your research on the new construction home buying process. So let's get it started right now with the first thing that you must know about buying a new construction home in Northern Virginia, and that's gonna be pricing. So this is without question one of the most confusing parts about the whole new construction home buying process. Let me share with you an example. Let's say you're in Zillow looking at new construction homes and you see a beautiful single family home in an A-plus neighborhood for $999,000, and you're instantly extremely excited. In fact, you're probably gonna jump in your car right now and drive straight to the model home and talk to a sales rep. Well, unfortunately, that $999,000, that is not the actual price, that is the base price of the home. In fact, the pictures you see online are not even of the actual home you will be buying. They're most likely pictures of the extremely upgraded model home. So on top of that base price you see online, you still have to add structural options, design studio options, lot fees, and a lot more. So the final sales price number is gonna get a lot higher than the advertised price. I'll use myself as an example. When I went under a contract for my new construction townhouse style condo back in September of 2021, the base price was $580,000, but after I added structural options, design studio options, lot fees, and etc., my final sales price came out to $665,000. So I spent $85,000 above the base price. Now the exception to the advertised price rule is some new construction communities will have what's called a spec home, and that's where the builder picks out all the options. They pick out the flooring, the cabinet, the countertops, structural options, and these homes are usually close to completion. So with the spec homes, the price you see is the actual price you'll end up paying. However, to be certain, always reach out directly to the builder sales rep and they can share with you the most up-to-date pricing. So how much should you expect to spend above the base price? Well, in my experience, for townhomes, I usually see anywhere from $80,000 to $150,000 above the base price. And then with single family homes, I usually see $150,000 to $250,000 above the base price. Now, as much as I love making YouTube videos about living right here in Northern Virginia, what I love even more is helping folks just like you relocate to the area. If you're even thinking about moving to Northern Virginia, reach out to me, give me a call, shoot me a text, send me an email. Just know I got your back when you move into Northern Virginia. Now, the next thing that you need to know about buying a new construction home is negotiating with the builder. Now, a very common question I get is, David, can you negotiate the sales price with the builder? Well, this is definitely gonna be a case-by-case basis, and really it's gonna depend on the demand of the specific community you're looking at, but 9 times out of 10, the price is the price. Now, in Fairfax and Arlington County, since you have much older homes in those areas, local builders, what they do is they buy a tear-down home and build a beautiful luxury single-family home on that lot. Now, these builders are way more open to negotiations. But the big master plan communities being built by the Toll Brothers of the world, they are not so much open to negotiations. Now, you can definitely always ask, and a couple tips I would recommend to increase your odds of getting a price reduction is get pre-approved with their in-house lender, because once you're pre-approved with their in-house lender, all of a sudden now you are a serious and well-qualified buyer. Now, it won't be up to the builder sales rep. What they're gonna do is take your request and send it up to the management, and ultimately they'll make the final decision. Another tip is make your request realistic. You can't go to a new construction community that has 30 people in line waiting to put deposits down on lots, and then when you get up, ask for $200,000 off the sales price. Realistically, there's a 0% chance of that happening, but maybe if you ask for $10,000, $20,000 off the sales price, that's a little bit more realistic. And the builder may actually say yes to that. So yes, most builders tend not to negotiate, but if needed, they will definitely do price reductions, and most builders offer builder incentives, which we're gonna talk more about here in a second. So yes, if you wanna negotiate, I say just ask. Worst case scenario, they say no. Now next in the list is builder incentives. Now one of the biggest pros to buying a new construction home is builder incentives. These incentives help reduce your cash out of pocket at closing. And I don't know about you, I like keeping my cash in my pocket and not the builder's hand. So 99% of the time, these builder incentives are tied to using their preferred lender or going under contract by a certain date. And some of the most common incentives I have seen is a 1 to 3% closing cost credit. So if you get anywhere from 2 to 3% closing cost credit, that's basically gonna cover all your closing costs. I will take that every single day. Or another common incentive I see a lot is design studio credit. I've seen anywhere from $10,000 to a $40,000 design studio credit. Or I've even seen a combination of both a closing cost credit and a design studio credit. Now, just so you know, the builder incentives, they literally change daily. It really depends on the demand of that specific community. Like when I was looking at my new construction home, at the time, the builder incentive was actually only a $5,000 closing cost credit. But I remember like a year later, I guess things had slowed down. They were now starting to offer a $15,000 closing cost credit. I would have loved to have $15,000 instead of $5,000. So yes, when you're talking with the sales rep, always ask what builder incentives are being offered. Now, the next thing that you must know about buying a new construction home in Northern Virginia is getting a third-party home inspection. So getting your own third-party home inspection is without question probably one of the most important parts of the whole process and a step you definitely don't want to skip. So how the home inspection process works is usually about 30 to 45 days before closing, you will get a home inspection period window, and that usually takes place about 7 to 10 days before closing. So the inspection itself will probably take about 2 to 2.5 hours, and I highly recommend being there in person for the inspection as well. Now, even though it's a new construction home, there's literally no such thing as a perfect home. In fact, I've done hundreds and hundreds of home inspections, and not one time has the home inspector said, wow, this is a perfect house. Unfortunately, it does not exist. So the inspector is 100% gonna find items that need to be repaired. So at the end of the inspection, the inspector, they'll go over all their findings, and then a couple hours later, you get a full PDF report with pictures, descriptions, basically everything you need to know about the home. And then you're gonna take that report and you can send it off to the sales rep and or the project manager. So 98% of the time, the builder, they're gonna handle all issues by closing. So whatever the home inspection ends up costing you, it is gonna be worth every single penny. And like I said earlier, it is a step you cannot miss. Next on the list is delivery time frame. And this is when you actually close in your home and get the keys. Now, when you actually get your home, this is definitely gonna be a case-by-case basis, and it really depends on where they're at in the current construction process. So delivery timeframes, they will vary quite a bit. Like, are you buying a home that's being built from the ground up? Are you buying a home that's kind of like in the middle phase of construction? Or are you buying a home that's actually already been built? So what are the average delivery timeframes I usually see? So if you're buying a home that's gonna be built from the ground up, on average, I see single family homes take anywhere from 8 to 13 months. And for townhomes, anywhere from 6 to 8 months to be delivered. In my personal townhouse style condo, which I did buy from the ground up, took 7 months for me to take delivery. And then if you're buying a home that's in the middle of construction, I usually see anywhere from 2 to 5 months before you take delivery. And then lastly, if you're buying a new construction home that's already been built, those can close very quickly, usually anywhere from 30 to 45 days. So yeah, when you're talking with a sales rep, this literally needs to be your absolute first question is, what is the expected delivery time frame? Because the delivery time frame may not work for your needs. Now, the next thing that you must know about buying a new construction home in Northern Virginia is picking out your design and structural options. So picking out these options is not gonna apply if you're buying a home that's already been built or is a spec home. And what a spec home is, that's where the builder picks all the options. But if you're buying a home that's being built from the ground up and it's not a spec home, then guess what? You can make it your own. And this is without question the most fun part of the process. So let's start off with structural options. So usually at the time of contract is when you pick out your structural options, and that could be like adding a 4th bedroom, finishing the basement, adding a main level office, adding a rooftop terrace, basically anything that's customizing the layout and functionality of the home. During my new construction home buying process, there's two major structural options that I added. One was the rooftop terrace. Secondly was adding a main level office and a walk-in pantry. And in my mind, those options have been worth every single penny. Now let's look at the design studio options. So usually 1 to 3 months after going on a contract is when you get an invitation to go to the design studio. And this will be like a 2 to 3 hour appointment. And there you're picking out your flooring, your cabinets, your countertops, light fixtures, faucets, lighting, and so much more. And going to the design studio, it is a lot of fun. I had a blast doing it, but I will warn you, it is very easy to get carried away. But the good news is, before your design studio appointment, you will get a PDF full of pictures, descriptions, and pricing of all available options, and this will definitely help you budget. When my wife and I were going to the design studio, we had a budget of $40,000, and by the miracle of God, we stayed under that $40,000 budget. But I easily could have gone way above that. Next, we have the contract and deposit process. So every builder, they're gonna have their own sales contract, and it's gonna be completely different than the standard Northern Virginia resale contract. And the reason I bring this up is these builder contracts, they're very one-sided and they only favor the builder. Let me explain. So after going under contract with the new construction home, you will get the Homeowners Association documents and usually have anywhere from 3 to 5 days to review those. And during that review period, you can cancel for any reason with no penalty at all. But once you're past that 3 to 5 day window, there's no way out of the contract. There's no home inspection contingency. There's no appraisal contingency. So if you don't buy that house, you will lose your deposit. Now let's talk about the deposit process. So once you go under contract, you usually have about 24 hours to submit the deposit. And usually I see anywhere from 5 to 10% of the sales price. So if you're buying $1 million home, it's gonna be anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000. And this was probably one of my least favorite parts about the process was the builder holding my deposit. I think we left a $45,000 deposit. And I was on the contract for 7 months. So that's a lot of time where they're holding on to my money. And who knows what could happen during that time. Well, thankfully nothing happened. We made the closing with no hiccup. Next, we have lot fee premiums. Now this will definitely vary from builder to builder, but the basic premise is the better the lot, the more expensive the lot fee is. For example, a lot that backs to let's say a lake or has a private wooded backyard, that's gonna have a much higher lot fee compared to a house that is sandwiched between 5 other homes with very little privacy. So I did get lucky in this one as my lot fee was only $1,000, but I've seen lot fees be as high as $120,000. Yes, you heard that right, $120,000 just to pick that specific lot. So lot fee premiums is definitely an unexpected cost. Most people don't realize until they're actually sitting down with a sales rep discussing price and terms. Now the $1 million question is, should you hire a realtor to help you with your new construction home buying process? Well, my fellow colleagues are not gonna like my answer, but I don't think it's needed at all. However, it's a very good value add if these two conditions are met. The first condition is whatever the builder is offering to pay your realtor, that's what the realtor gets. If they want that and more on top, don't hire a realtor, go at it alone. Second condition is if you're gonna hire a real estate professional, make sure that professional has a lot of new construction home buying experience, or even better, they personally bought a new construction home, such as myself. Now, if you're even thinking about buying a new construction home in Northern Virginia, reach out to me. Love to chat with you, kind of share with you the pros, the cons, what I can do to help you. And if you want to learn more about living right here in Northern Virginia and buying new construction homes, check out these videos right here. They're gonna be great ways to continue your research. And I'll see you in the next video.